This is Jordan reporting for the Post. Let's get right into the news. All right, so Drake is set up for a classic album of 2025. Joe Budden and many others are coming forward and saying the album Sexy Songs for You has grown on them, and they are already declaring it maybe one of the most classic albums of 2025 and one of the best comeback albums of 2025. We'll see. If Drake drops another album this year, I think it'll be some of his best work because people have doubted him and bashed him for the past year. It kind of backs you into a corner to make your best work. Then we got Kendrick Lamar. Dody6 publicly apologized to Kendrick Lamar. So he was going off last week calling Kendrick Lamar a biatch and he's soft and he's a loser. This guy, Kendrick Lamar, put him on the album and nobody knew who Dody6 was. He gave him the biggest alley-oop ever and got slammed for it. So basically, this guy Dody6 was checked by Kendrick Lamar and some others, and he got on his knees and apologized. He says, I want to publicly apologize to Kendrick Lamar for calling Cuz a biatch because he's far from that. Ain't did nothing but bless me in my life. Dody6. All right. Papoose in Africa acting like he's the biggest thing ever. He has everybody coming out to see him. He says, I don't stay at the resorts, man. I go and touch the people. Well, we'll see if he can get his monthly listeners up on Spotify by going to different countries. Drake wins over $1 million payout after betting against LeBron. He bet $620,000 on Minnesota Timberwolves to beat LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Obviously, he won. And LeBron's been hating on Drake since the Kendrick Lamar thing dropped. He chose a side. He went against Drake, who Drake thought was his friend, but obviously he's not. And yeah, that's how that played out. So it's kind of a little get back from Drake. And then rich homie Quan, as we know, passed. R.I.P. to him. Young Thug was asked about their relationship. Now, the real reason they aren't friends anymore is because there was a guy named Nut involved in bringing them over to Birdman. Remember when they came over and they were a rich gang and they made songs together? Well, Young Thug fell out with Nut because Nut was like, don't sign to Birdman, blah, 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 blah. And Rich Homie Quan left with Nut and stayed with TIG because Rich Homie Quan was signed to TIG. YF and Lucci was also signed to TIG and friends with Nut. Young Thug and Nut, their beef escalated. Nut's a guy from the street in Atlanta. Eventually, Nut passed away. Young Thug was blamed for it by the DA, and that's why he was, in court the past 2 years, and he pled guilty to some charges. Now, Rich Homie Quan, in Thug's eyes, took a side at that point. He wanted him to sign to YSL, Rich Gang, but Rich Homie Quan refused, and that's where their beef was really from. And then when Nut got killed, it was too tense, because he was on TIG's side with YF and Lucci, so he just kind of stayed neutral, but never commented on it. 50 Cent takes Ryan Kavanaugh to court over this horror film that he made with them, but he didn't get paid for the distribution of this horror film. 50 Cent was a producer and also acted in it. He didn't get paid for certain parts of it, so he's stopping it in court. He says he needs his money by Monday, and he's seizing the release of this. 23 years ago, he did release 50 Cent, The Future. What is it? The Guess Who's Back? It was like a classic mixtape of the best material he released during mixtapes and some new material right before he did his deal with Eminem and Dre. It was like right at the same time. And he made a killing with this. I think this sold 500,000 to 1 million copies independently. But it was eventually stopped by Interscope because it was competing with his, they didn't want an independent company benefiting from the millions of dollars they were pouring into 50 Cent at Interscope. And lastly, 50 Cent reacts to the Turkey Leg Hut co-owner, Lynn Price, arrested for having former business partner's bar set on fire. There's footage of him pouring gas all over the guy's bar and lighting it on fire. He's now in a federal indictment. He says, damn, if you want the amazing food from Turkey Leg Hut, you're going to have to get it from Shreveport. So I guess 50 Cent is having the Turkey Leg Hut other owner open a Turkey Leg Hut in Shreveport. That's what's up. And that is it. This is the Post Inc. And I will check you guys in the next one. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe.